Good morning, and thank you for joining us for session 41 in our 10-minute Wellbeing Tips for Managers series. This morning, we return to our exploration of how leadership support influences personal and professional well-being. And for the next 10 minutes, we'll be looking at the importance of support, how we practice providing support to others, and why it's important to also practice asking others to support us. Numerous studies indicate that social support is essential for maintaining health and well-being, and there are many types of support that we'll touch on later. But knowing we have emotional support is an important protective factor when we're facing stress and challenges such as we've been living through. Perceiving that we have support improves our ability to cope with stressful situations. It alleviates the effects of emotional distress and reduces functional impairment in people living with depression. It promotes lifelong good mental and emotional health. It promotes self-esteem and self-efficacy. It lowers cardiovascular risk, such as lowering blood pressure. It promotes healthy lifestyle behaviors. And for people who are living with health conditions, it encourages their adherence to treatment. Believing that we will receive support at work is associated with increased engagement, resilience, and self-efficacy, or that belief that we can succeed. In crisis and high stress or unfamiliar situations, perceived support is an important predictor of coping and resilience. Now, research is continuing to try and fully understand and explain the exact relationship between those three factors, but the importance of a supportive work environment is very clear. In session 10, if you remember, I introduced Macmillan and Chavez's theory of social community. They defined it as a feeling that members have of belonging, a feeling that members matter to one another and to the group, and a shared faith that members' needs will be met through their commitment to being together. So believing that we will get the support we need from our colleagues and team members builds our sense of community, as does a feeling that we're able to support others and that our support will be welcomed by them. Perceived support also connects to our basic human need for social connection. Research has shown that we are, in fact, hardwired neurologically to connect with others. Brené Brown suggests that connection with others gives purpose and meaning to our lives, and without it, there is suffering. So let's look now then at how giving and receiving support connects us. What's important here, though, friends, is that not all support is equally helpful. Back in session 24, we explored how in crises and very stressful situations, empowerment is an antidote for feeling powerlessness and out of control. As well, we also discussed the pitfalls of being over-helpful, either an over-helpful leader or an over-helpful colleague. Most people don't want to be taken care of. They want to be supported and empowered to take care of themselves. And similarly, most people do not really want to have their problems solved for them. They want to feel that they have the autonomy, choices, competence, resources, and personal support they need to solve their problems. So how then, as leaders, do we get that right balance between over-helping and under-supporting our colleagues? Well, let's pause for a moment to reflect on your own experience of being supported by others at work. Who has supported you? What support did you need in that moment? How did they support you? And it may also be helpful to think about whether you asked for support or whether they just noticed and asked how they could support you. Support comes in many forms. Some, but not all of them, are on this graphic. And so let me give you a few seconds while I'm talking to look at this slide and think about which forms of support you have received personally at work. And was it the right support at the right time? And how did it make you feel? Now I'm going to ask you to think about a time when somebody provided you with advice or a solution to a problem. What were the pros of this for you? Perhaps it was timely, it was reassuring, and it helped you quickly fix the problem or get something off that never-ending to-do list. Perhaps you felt seen, heard, and helped. And all of these things can be true of advice and solutions. It's also possible that advice and a solution for the problem wasn't the support you needed. Did you need advice, or did you really just need the space and the support to process the options that were available to you? Did the advice or the solution really match the challenge you were facing? Was it helpful? How did it support your success and growth? And last but definitely not least, how did receiving this advice make you feel? Although we may feel moved and motivated to offer support when we see or sense that someone is struggling or needs help, we need to think very carefully about the message our support will convey before we act. People who provide the best support don't focus on the person's weakness or what they're not. They focus on who that other person is and on learning what support that person thinks that they need. The best support provides what the other person needs in the moment while acknowledging their strengths, their potential, and their right to choose how we support them. If the gold standard of support is support people in the way you would like to be supported by others, then the platinum standard is support people in the way they would like to be supported in this situation. The best support looks and feels like a healthy, respectful, and equal partnership. As I said, support has to start with a focus on the person, not the problem. And then we need to ask what do they hope or what do they need to accomplish? Remembering that it's not only about helping them to do something. We may hope for support with things that involve our being, our feeling, our changing, our learning, our accepting something, our saying no, our resolving or solving issues, our ability to sustain something, or even just to gain perspective. And then we want to ask how they would like to be supported. It can be as simple as asking, what would support you in this moment? Or how could I be of support to you? Unfortunately, there are many barriers that may stop us from offering support to our colleagues. We're busy or distracted with our own work and challenges. We're not fully present when we're with somebody, so we're more focused on our agenda than we are on noticing how they are in that moment. We don't notice that support is needed, or we're not sure how to support them. Maybe we don't want to offer the wrong support or get it wrong or be seen to be meddling. We assume other people will offer support if it's needed, like somebody else will do it. We don't want our offer of support to be misinterpreted or rejected. And we may not feel safe offering support, especially to more senior people. We may want to just protect the other person's privacy. And while this is a great intention, it may stop us from offering the support people really need. And then we think that if people really wanted support, they'd ask for it. Unfortunately, that's not always the case because there are barriers to asking for help. The first is fear of being seen as weak or needy, being seen as not enough, not smart enough, not resourceful enough, not professional enough, not patient enough, whatever it is, that fill in the blank. Fear of imposing on others, and fear of the consequences of reaching out for support. What would be judged? And then actually, we may not know who to ask or how to ask or what resources are available. We may not even know what support we need. And also, we may not know that people really enjoy supporting us. It's good for their well-being too. When we or others we work with need support but don't know how to ask for what we need, we can feel very alone in the crowd. Feeling that no one recognizes your challenge or will be willing to support you without judgment can make an already stressful situation very painful. The good news is, though, that it only takes one person to make a difference. One person able to notice that someone needs support. One person willing to reach out and offer support, or one person courageous enough to ask for support. We break down barriers to support one person and one day at a time. So how can you be that one person today? And here are our today's tips. Manager tip 43, make asking for support safer for your team by modeling this behavior yourself. And then when delegating work or reviewing progress, ask what would support your success. Let's just get it into our daily language. Next week, we'll explore how we can develop a coaching mindset and how that can support the growth, success, and well-being of our colleagues. As always, we encourage you to look at the Healthy at Hopkins and Office of Wellbeing resources. And now I welcome any questions and comments that you have.